Hello hunters, just Sheep Killer here, and welcome back to another video. And this time it's not part of any sort of let's play or other series, it's a side series. And so basically, recently I've been getting more into storytelling on my videos. If you couldn't tell by the recent The Sheep King and Sheep Coop Black arcs on my Minecraft Creative series, then there's also another upcoming arc on that series, by the way. But yeah, so now I want to tell an original story. One that I've been making and adjusting for about 6 years now. It's a very long story, so it'll be split into several parts. I hope you enjoy this side series of mine. If you do, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below and with a like. And if you're new, I'd appreciate it if you subscribed and hit the bell as well. Also share this video with your friends. Now then, let's begin this journey. Oh, and 2 disclaimers before we begin. 1, this is all you'll be seeing for the video. It's just meant to be listened to. I don't got nothing for the story to show. I mean, I have drawings of some of the characters in the thumbnails, but that's about it. Also, my channel is mostly family friendly. This story might get a little bit dark in some places, so I guess you've been warned of that. Nothing too crazy, but still, something I should at least tell you before we begin. Anyway, now, yeah, let's begin. 5 spaceships land on planet Earth. Each of them contain beings that are not from Earth. One contains 5 small, animal-like creatures. A dog-like one named Roshan, a cat-like one named Junior, a rhino-like one named Raihi, a colorful worm-like one named Wormlet, and a goat-like one named Goaty. The other 4 contain beings that look like human children. The names are Curtis, Enzo, Hikage, and Hikari. They mean no harm. Curtis, Roshan, Junior, Wormlet, and Goaty head off to a town. Enzo and Raihi head off to a village. And Hikage and Hikari stay where they are. They all live their lives in peace, as if they were Earthlings. Hikage and Hikari even saved the city a few times. All these aliens are very strong. Several years later, they've all grown up, and Curtis gets married to a woman named Sarah. Enzo also gets married to a woman who he knew since he landed on Earth. Curtis and Sarah have their first kid, but him and Wormlet disappear a few years later. They then have another kid named Lee, who becomes good friends with Goaty. A year later, they have another kid named Stry, who becomes good friends with Junior. They have their last kid, another year later. His name is Atka, and he becomes good friends with Roshan. Shortly after, Enzo and his wife have a kid, but a few years later, the couple disappears, leaving the kid and Raihi to live on their own. Several years later, Curtis and his family move to a village called Mountain Foot Village, a peaceful village, at the foot of a very tall mountain. The mountain is rumored to hide many secrets, but no one who's ever hiked it has left there alive, so no one knows for sure. This stay at the village, though, will not be a peaceful one. After moving into Mountain Foot Village, Curtis and his family get settled in their house, and then they go to sleep. Overnight, the village is attacked by monsters, and in the morning, only Sarah, Roshan, and 17-year-old Atka are in the house. The rest are missing. Atka and Roshan go around the village to see if they can find the others, but they're nowhere to be found. Then they come across a man named Hans. They tell him what's going on, and he leads them to a library, where they meet an old, wise cat-like creature, much like the ones who landed on Earth many years back. His name is Sam. He tells them that the ones responsible for this are the Dark Spirits, alien creatures who have attacked several planets. This isn't the first time attacking Earth. The Prince Hollerim has sent troops there many times, and they were stopped by 2 warriors every time. The more elite ones also have the power to possess people, and they may have kidnapped the others to possess them. If one is possessed for too long, there's no going back. There's a place near the village that's in the side of the mountain where the Dark Spirits hide out, called the Dark Castle. This castle was once a great place that served as a line of defense for the village, but now it's in ruins and overrun by Dark Spirits. As such, no one knows what the interior of it looks like, or how big it is. With this knowledge, Atka and Roshan return home to prepare. Then they head off to the Dark Castle to save the others. The moment they enter, they meet a monster with 1 eye and floating hands. A dark spirit named Ultra. Ultra doesn't expect much from the 2, and challenges them to a fight. The 2 turn out to be pretty strong, and have excellent coordinated attacks, and they begin to overwhelm the beasts until they get caught in dark chains. One of Ultra's underlings, Phantor, intervened and stopped the 2 from getting the upper hand on Ultra. Then Ultra fires a full-power eye beam at the 2. Phantor assumes they're dead, but when the smoke clears, they're still alive, but unconscious. Ultra returns to his lair, and Phantor throws the 2 in a jail cell, alongside Stry, Junior, and Lee. They're all in the Black Corridor, where prisoners are kept. They wake up, and Roshan and Junior slip out of the jail cell, knock out the guards, steal a key, and free Atka, Stry, and Lee. Then they leave the Black Corridor and go further into the dungeon to find Curtis and Goaty. Atka, Stry, Lee, Roshan, and Junior go deeper into the Dark Castle and find themselves in the ancient sewers. A series of paths, puzzles, and sewage awaits them, and they end up splitting up. Atka and Stry come across Fantor and a Grunt, and Atka wants to fight Fantor to get his revenge. So Stry takes on the Grunt. They both win and move on. Lee, Roshan, and Junior run into two Grunts and a new skeletal dark spirit, Skeleclon. Lee takes him on, and Roshan and Junior take the Grunts. They both win and move on. Then eventually they all meet up at a big door that requires 2 keys to open. They use the keys they found on the way there to open the door. And once they get through, they find themselves in a torture chamber, where Curtis and Goaty are being held. An orc-turned-dark spirit is also there, and in charge of managing the torture chamber. His name is Ezekiel, and Stry takes him on while the others free Curtis and Goaty. They're evenly matched, and before one can end it, Curtis intervenes and easily kicks Ezekiel into a wall, knocking him out. With all of them reunited, instead of them leaving, they decide to go further in to take on Ultra. They enter the Shadow Labyrinth, a maze that they need to go through to reach Ultra's lair. While they're navigating, an army of Dark Spirit Grunts approach the castle. But after a while, they finally make it through, and now it's just one big hallway between them and Ultra's lair. But suddenly, 100 Grunts appear. These are not part of the army from outside, as those Dark Spirits were somehow already dealt with. But now they all have to fight. Each of them take on several Grunts, and all 100 of them are defeated. Now they go through the door, and there Ultra is. This time he's prepared though, and he uses his power to possess Stry. Atka fights Stry, and the others fight Ultra, who's giving him a hard time now that he knows what to expect. Atka knocks Stry out, freeing him from the spell. Then Atka joins the fight and finds Ultra's weakness. He gets a dagger and, thanks to the others, is able to get close to Ultra and stab him in the eye. At first they think they've won, but then Atka's unable to move, and then Ultra starts to glow. Hitting Ultra's eye set off a bomb inside him, and he's about to self-destruct with Atka being unable to escape. Roshan stays behind to try to save him, while the others reluctantly escape, but then Ultra explodes with the two still in there. Stry, Lee, Junior, Goaty, and Curtis leave the Dark Castle, and shortly after, they realize the horrible truth. The group crosses the bridge to return to Mountain Foot Village and tell Sarah the bad news, until suddenly they see Atka and Roshan's bodies flowing down the river below. Junior and Goaty retrieve them, and they find that the two are still alive. They all return home, and when Atka and Roshan wake up, they all have a feast to celebrate Ultra's defeat. 1 year later, they're all living in Outskirt Town once again. Atka hears rumors of attacks in Mount Foot Village and heads there. The rumors are true, and the Dark Spirits are once again to blame. Atka enters the Dark Castle to find the Dark Spirits that they spared before are the ones causing trouble. Skeleclon the Grunts attack Atka, but he's even stronger now and easily kills them all. Ezekiel and Fantor escape further into the dungeon, so Atka chases after them. He eventually catches up to them and fights Ezekiel. He was able to win and kill Ezekiel, and then he chases after Fantor again, and finds him in Ultra's lair. One of the walls was blown off from Ultra's explosion, exposing the room to the outside. There, Fantor was doing some kind of ritual. Then in the glowing light, someone even more powerful than Ultra appears. His name is Enzo, and after being summoned, he kills Fantor by stabbing him. And he fights Atka and easily defeats him, and knocks him off the ledge. Enzo vanishes, and Atka is falling to his death until Roshan flies up and catches him. When they're safely on the ground, two people show up, one with vast white hair, and one with pitch black hair. Roshan recognizes them. Their names are Hikage and Hikari. Atka fills them in on what happened, and then Hikage and Hikari reveal that they are the ones who saved Atka and Roshan from Ultra's explosion, and defeated the army that tried to enter the Dark Castle. They did it because they know Atka's father and Roshan. They realize Atka's potential, and they see that he may be able to become strong enough to deal with the more powerful Dark Spirits that are still on Earth. They talk for a bit, and Hikage hands him a sword that he stole from Hollowrim, called the Calibus. Atka then accepts a quest to slay 4 powerful beasts, the Titans of Cherokee. Doing so with the Calibus will make him much stronger. There is a rumored 5th Titan that is a dragon, but its existence has never been proven. Atka leaves on his own to a village near Mount Cherry to get to the first beast, Infernobra. Roshan goes with Hikage and Hikari back to Outskirt Town to go train with Junior, Goaty, Stry, Curtis, and Lee. Once Atka arrives, Infernobra is coming down the volcano, ready to attack the village. The battle is about to begin, and Atka wields the Calibus, ready to slay the beast. And there's part 1 done. stay tuned for part 2 where Atka fights the 4 Titans of Cherokee. You may have some questions, but they may all be answered later. I'll see you guys then, and happy hunting!